Hello, welcome to our today's webinar. I have already started the recording. I will show you today how you can create an account in Evalink Live and how you can enter and then check an offer. We are doing this in two parts. In the first part, I will show you how to register an account. And in the second part, we will create an offer and send it to a customer. And I will show you all the correspondence, the emails which are sent during this process. And yes, I hope you will see how it works. The whole webinar is recorded. So after the webinar, you have the possibility to watch the video from this webinar. It should be online this afternoon or at least tomorrow. And another technical information, you can ask questions. Please feel free to ask questions during the webinar. You can use for that the Q&A section from the webinar software. You have there somewhere Q&A, and there you can write down a question and I will try to answer it. So, okay, then let's start. I show you now how you can register an account in Evalink Live. For that, I go to evalinkllive.com, and on the start page, you find a button, Sign Up. And with this button, you can create an account. It's very simple. You just need an email address, select a password, enter your first and last name, and the account is created. For that, I use a temporary email address. I select the password, enter a name, and click on Sign Up. I already received the email to verify my email address. This is the email you will receive if you create an account in Evalink Live, and you have to verify your email address by clicking on the link from the email. I do that now. So my email address was verified and I can continue with the account creation. So the next step, you have to accept the end user agreement. Please read it carefully and click on accept. And the next and the last step for the account creation is to define your company. Put in your company name, select the country, and submit the request. And the registration is almost finished. So the next, you will land here on the dashboard from the Evalink Live, but no button is active. That's because your company has to be accepted by a Sitasys member. And I will do that now quickly. I'm logged in here with the company administrator, and here I have the possibility to activate the companies. Yeah, it's here. And once the company is activated, your dashboard should become active. Now I have to log in again. And now you see the dashboard buttons are now active, and you can start creating new quotes and so on. I will explain shortly what this dashboard, what's the dashboard contents is, and then we go further to the second part to create a new quote. So there was a message here at the bottom. That's because I created a fresh account and some account informations are missing. So please do that at the first. You can do that here on your name, click on it and then go to account. And then you have to put in the empty fields like zip, city, street, and so on. I'll do that quickly. So, and here you also have the possibility to change your password. So the account has been updated and every information is now configured. So just an overview here from the dashboard with the button Create New Site. We will use that in the second part of this webinar. That's simply to create a new quote, send it to the customer, and then install it on the site. Then with Manage Sites and Devices, you have a list. You can open a list with all your devices. This list here is empty because it's a fresh created account, so no devices are here at the moment. Then the right top button is Manage Installers. Here you can manage all your installers. If you have many installers in your company, please use this function here to invite your installers. It's not a good idea when they register it for his own, because he then has to add the company code. Otherwise, he will have a own company and it's not listed on your company. So every installer from your company should be invited by this function here. You find it on the dashboard, Manage Installers, and then the button here in the top right, New Installer. First, you have to choose the role of the person. In the most cases, it will be the installer, but you have a possibility to set a company representative or a support employee. For now, for this example, use the installer, put in his first name, his last name, his phone number, and his email address, and he will receive then an invitation on this email address. And he is automatically added to your company, and you can manage the installers then here in this area. So the next point is Manage Customers. Here you can manage all your customers you want to use in evalink Live. In the second part, I will use an already created customer. You can save time by that. If you have customers with many objects, for example, you can enter the customer's data here and use this data then very quickly during the quote creation process. So in orders, you see your orders, because we have a web shop here. You can order technical components like, surely alarm transmission units, but also accessories like batteries, accumulators, antennas, and so on. And you can order them here directly in the shop. And then you see here order history from your orders. So the last point is downloads. Here you can find some important tools and important information like documents, for example. You find here TeamViewer Quick Support. If you have any problems, we can support you. But it's very helpful if you can use TeamViewer to share your screen. Then you can download it directly from here. Then we have here short manuals to our transmission devices. We have configuration manuals for foreign devices. And one important point here on the second page is the port checker. this is a little application you can use in the objects to check if all necessary ports are open. Simply download it, open it. It has not been to installed. Then open it and connect your laptop to the connection. The transmission device will be connected, and start the port checker and start the checks, and you will see if every port that is needed is open or not. It's really a helpful tool. So that was a quick overview over the dashboard in Evalink Live. I will now switch the user, and then we will do the second part. We will create a quote, send it to the customer, and I will show you how the customer can accept this quote. So for that, I have my demonstration user, which has already a customer. So it's the same look like before with the fresh account. The only difference here is because it's an already created account, I have here some devices already, and also yeah, there should be a customer, but I think it should work anyway. So I will now create a new site. For this, click on this button here. Just additional information, Evalink Live informs you about events, and this is highlighted here with this yellow-orange color. You can collapse this if you don't want to see that. Yeah, but it's a helpful information here. And also, we recommend using Google Chrome. Otherwise, this message here at the top appears. This is since I use Firefox here for this demonstration. So, okay, we start to create a quote. The first step is to select a bundle, an ARC bundle. You have to select here a bundle. This can be Sitasys, for example, Abacon. It depends on the customer's needs. What needs the customer? And with this, you can order here the right bundle. On the right side, you have some filters. If you want work directly with a specific ARC, you can select here. For example, if I want to use Sitasys, I can select it, and only the Sitasys bundles are listed here. Then you can filter by application. If you need it for a mandatory alarm or for intrusion and fire and so on, then you can filter by connection. Should it be a permanent connection or on demand? On demand is a little bit less expensive than permanent and so on. But for now, for this demonstration, I use the Sitasys demo bundle. I select the bundle and click on Next. So in the next step, in the second step, you have to define the wiring schema. You see here all the possible contacts. This is based on your ARC selection one step before. So all this wiring schema data you see here are based at your selection of the ARC, because not every ARC have the same configuration for these sensors and for these contacts and outputs and so on. But I start here with the drop-down menu. You have to select the connection type. In many cases, it will be potential free contacts. but you have the possibility to select RJ11 mapped or RJ11 transparent. RJ11 mapped and transparent are for this special application if the alarm panel uses the old phone lines. You can connect this phone line to our transmission device by a dial converter and then transmit this message from the old alarm panels directly to the evalink system and to our platform. Then there is a differentiation between mapped and the difference between mapped and transparent. That means mapped means that the alarm which are sent by the alarm panel are mapped in the system. So even if they send a fire alarm on contact 1, if the ARC is configured that if sensor 1 sends an alarm, then it's always water, even if you send fire. That's mapped. The alarm message will be mapped to another alarm message. But this is it depends on the configuration of the ARC and their needs, what they need. Transparent, it says the message from the alarm panel will be transmitted transparent directly to the ARC. That's the difference from mapped and transparent. But in mostly cases, you will use here potential free contacts, like here in my case. So the second step here on the left side, you have the panel details. You can enter here the manufacturer, the model, the version, serial number, and the location. But that's just for your information. It has no technical effect here. This data is only for your for the completion of the quote. I put in here some data. Whole two. So then the next step is to select all your input components. For this demonstration, I only select intrusion, but you also have the possibility to select up to 20 sensors. Then you can choose the destinations of these inputs in case of alarm. For that, click on this pencil icon at the right side. Then a little window pops up. Just a moment. So, and here in this pop-up window, you have the possibility to overwrite the contact name. At the moment, it's intrusion, but you can change it, for example, to water or what your needs are. The contact type cannot be changed. You can only change the name. Then in the bottom area here from this pop-up window, you have the possibility to activate self-monitoring. This is per sensor. And this is not exclusive, this is additional. So you cannot exclusively send only to self-monitoring destinations. You have to select an ARC destination, but then you can additional send an alarm from a specific contact to a phone number or to an email address. Then you can enter here the message which are sent if an alarm is active and the message that is sent when the alarm is restored. You can fill in here your needs. So then you can configure output components. I do that not in this demonstration. And in the bottom, you see the technical components like cover contact, Ethernet, GPRS, and so on. And here I leave the default selection. In most of the cases, this is the right selection, but please only order the components that also will be in the object. So we had in the past the failure that 2 power supplies were ordered or were selected here. But then in the object, there were only 1 power supply. And the problem is, the ordered device has to be tested. During the installation, we have a test process. And during this test, every ordered component has to be tested. Otherwise, the test certificate will not be successful. And if you order here a component and this component will not be on site, then you cannot test it and the test certificate will not be successful. If you have done this, please contact us. We can deactivate this additional ordered components so that you can create a successful test certificate. This whole process with the installation and the test certificate is shown in another webinar. Please take a look on our homepage and you will find there this video. So I'm happy with this selection and I go further by clicking on Next. On this page, I have the possibility to add options to my order. In the background, you see you can order a SIM card. Additionally, you can upgrade the monitoring frequency, for example, here to DP3. This is 3 minutes. And so on. You can here add options to your quote, but I will not do that here in this quote. If you don't have additional options, then click simply on Next. Otherwise, click here on Customize. So in the next step, you have to choose a device. And this selection here also depends on your selection from the ARC at the beginning. Not every ARC supports every device type. You can order here a device directly to the quote. You see the prices here at the bottom, or you have the possibility to use an existing device. If in the object there is already a transmission device, you can use that. In that case, you simply have to select here the protocol. If you use a Sitasys device, then select one from this here, or on the second page, you find some foreign device types like VDS or FlexC or DC09, or also Jablotron. But for our case here, I will order an IPTNA4i with UNTS. Simply select the device and click on Next. Then we are almost finished. So this is the last step. You have to enter the customer data. And to do that quickly, I have already a registered customer and I will use that customer code. So I don't to fill in all the informations here. And it's for demonstration purposes. I'm a little bit faster this way. But you have to put in here the client address, the property address, and so on. You also have here in the bottom the possibility to enter the old connection number, but this also have no technical effect. This is just for information. If you entered all the customer information, customer address, then click on Next. Okay, it was not the last step. This is the last step. You have to select the billing method and the shipping method here at the bottom. I select here Postpack Economy and confirm by clicking on Next. Then on the last page, you will find an overview of your created quote. On the left side, you find the customer informations with his addresses. In the middle part here, you find your ordered services. And on the right side, you will see the price from this quote. If you are happy with this quote, you can send it by click send quote, but please hint that the customer which you registered with the customer email address will receive then this quote. You have also the possibility to go back and go later again to this quote and finish it later. That's no problem in evalink Live. You can always start there where you have stopped. But in this case, I'm happy with this quote and I send it to the customer by clicking on send quote. Now our part is finished with the quote creation. Now the customer has to accept this quote and then can the device be installed in the object. So that's all. The quote is created and sent to the customer for approval the quote. If you click now on Manage Sites and Devices, you will see here your open order. It's the top one. Device ID is already generated, but there is no connection because the device is not installed at the moment. And the device the order has the state waiting for customer approval. So now it's on the customer to open the quote, read it and accept the quote. And then the state changes here from waiting for customer to approved. And then it's ready for the installer to be installed. So I'm at the end. Yeah, okay. That's very good. That's the email that the customer receives. It's very good. I can show you this. The customer receives two documents, two PDF files. I open it quickly. One PDF is the quote itself. The customer see here your address. Then he see the object information, the addresses, the phone numbers, and so on, and also which services are ordered. Then he has to read it. The second PDF is contract cancellation. This is simply for your previous contract. Fill in here all this data and you can cancel your ongoing contract. So, and here in the email text, the customer receives a link. And if he clicks on that link, I open that in a private window because otherwise my sessions will be mixed and I don't want that. So this is the view which sees the customer. He see here again all the ordered components and services, and then he has to accept this quote by clicking on next. Otherwise, you have the possibility to cancel this order, and you will see that on your dashboard in evalink Live if he has declined it. In our case here, I click on next. The customer has also to read the service level agreements and has to accept it. So now the quote is accepted by the customer and I can switch to our account. One moment until it's finished. So the customer has accepted everything, and if I refresh my browser window here, the state should be changed from waiting for customer approval to to approved. Now you see the customer has approved and it's ready for installation. And like I said before at the beginning of this webinar, for this topic we have a separate webinar which is already recorded, and you can find it on our homepage as video. So I hope everything is clear. You can ask some questions if there are. You can also contact us after the webinar for sure. If there are some specific questions, some longer questions, that's no problem. We are here for you. Any questions? So in that case, we are at the end. It's 11:30. Thank you for your participation. Hope I see you in the next webinars, and I wish you a nice day. Have a good day. Bye-bye.